gorilla genus of primates containing the largest of the apes. The gorilla is one of the closest living relatives to humans. Both groups last shared a common ancestor about 10 million years ago. Only the chimpanzee and the bonobo are closer. Gorillas live only in tropical forests of equatorial Africa. Most authorities recognize 2 species and 4 subspecies. The western gorilla is made up of 2 subspecies. The western lowland gorilla, which inhabits the lowland rainforests from Cameroon to the Congo River, and the cross river gorilla, which inhabits a small forested region along the cross river separating Nigeria from Cameroon. The eastern gorilla is also made up of 2 subspecies, the eastern lowland, or grayers, gorilla, of the lowland rainforests of the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, and the mountain gorilla, found in the montane rainforests and bamboo forests of the highland terrain north and east of Lake Kivu, near the borders of Uganda, Rwanda, and Congo. The gorilla is robust and powerful, with an extremely thick, strong chest and a protruding abdomen. Both skin and hair are black. The face has large nostrils, small ears, and prominent brow ridges. Adults have long, muscular arms that are 15 to 20% longer than the stocky legs. Males are about twice as heavy as females and maintain a height of about 1.7 meters, 5.5 feet, and weight, in the wild, of 135 to 220 kilograms, 300 to 485 pounds. Captive gorillas of both sexes may grow quite fat and hence become much heavier. A wild adult female typically is about 1.5 meters tall and weighs about 70 to 90 kilograms. Gorillas lack hair on the face, hands, and feet, and the chest of old males is bare. The hair of G. brungi is longer than that of the other 3 subspecies. Adult males have a prominent crest on top of the skull and a saddle of gray or silver hairs on the lower part of the back, hence the term silverback, which is commonly used to refer to mature males. This saddle is much more conspicuous in eastern gorillas, which are jet black, than in western gorillas, which are more of a deep gray-brown. Gorillas live in stable family groups numbering from 6 to 30. The groups are led by 1 or 2 silverback males that are related to each other, usually a father and 1 or more of his sons. Occasionally brothers lead a group. The other members are females, infants, juveniles, and young adult males. Adult females join from outside the group, and the young are offspring of silverbacks. The gorilla is active during the day, diurnal, and primarily terrestrial, usually walking about on all 4 limbs with part of its weight supported on the knuckles of its hands. This mode of locomotion, called knuckle walking, is shared with chimpanzees. Occasionally gorillas stand erect, mainly when displaying. Females and young climb more than males, mainly because much vegetation cannot support the weight of males. Their diet is vegetarian. That of eastern gorillas includes leaves, stalks, and shoots, but western gorillas eat much more fruit. Gorillas generally dislike water, but in some areas, such as the Sang and Doki region on the borders of Cameroon, the Republic of the Congo, and the Central African Republic, they wade waist-deep into swampy clearings to feed on aquatic plants. Gorillas spend much of their time foraging and resting, with the group traveling a few hundred meters between several daily feeding bouts. Each group wanders through a home range of about 2 to 40 square kilometers, 0.77 to 16 square miles, though several different groups may share the same part of the forest. At dusk, each gorilla builds its own crude sleeping nest by bending branches and foliage. A new nest is built every night either on the ground or in the trees. The gorilla is much larger than its closest relative, the chimpanzee, and has a less boisterous disposition. Although it is a relatively quiet animal, the repertoire of gorilla calls includes grunts, hoots, a terrifying alarm bark, and the roar, which is given by aggressive males. Much has been written about the ferocity of the gorilla, but studies indicate that it is unaggressive, even shy, unless unduly disturbed. Intruders may be faced by the leading silverback of the group, which may make aggressive displays in attempting to protect his dependents. Such displays commonly involve chest beating, vocalization, or short rushes toward the intruder, followed in most instances by a discreet withdrawal. Chest beating is performed by both males and females, but it is much louder in males because air sacs in the throat and chest make the sound more resonant. Chest beating is often part of a ritual that may also include running sideways, tearing at vegetation, and slapping the ground. In addition to intimidating outsiders, these displays also act as communication between groups and are often used to maintain the dominance hierarchy within the group. Cognitively, gorillas lack the curiosity and adaptability of chimpanzees, but gorillas are calmer and more persistent. Captive gorillas have shown a capacity for problem solving and have demonstrated a degree of insight as well as memory and anticipation of experience. They appear to be as adept as chimpanzees at learning sign language from humans. Some gorillas can recognize their image in a mirror and can thus be said to have a limited sense of self-awareness. This trait is shared with chimpanzees and orangutans. Only a few other non-human animals possess that ability. While female gorillas give birth about once every 4 years, there is no fixed breeding season. The gestation period is about 8.5 months, and births are usually single, though twins occur on rare occasions. A newborn gorilla weighs only about 2 kilograms and is utterly helpless for the first 3 months of life, during which it is carried in its mother's arms. The young gorilla sleeps in the mother's nest at night and rides on her back during the day. Female gorillas begin to reach reproductive maturity at about 10 years of age and then transfer to another group or to a lone silverback. Males reach sexual maturity at about age 9, but they do not reproduce until they become more physically mature silverbacks at about 12 to 15 years of age. Most male gorillas leave the group in which they were born and try to gather females to form their own family group. This may involve some aggression, since a young male may invade an established group and try to kidnap females, sometimes killing infants in the process. Occasionally a male will stay in his birth group and become its second silverback, breeding with some of the females and ultimately taking over its leadership when his father ages or dies. The life expectancy of wild gorillas is about 35 years. Though captive gorillas have lived into their 40s, the gorilla has become increasingly rare throughout its range, having suffered from human destruction of its forest habitat and from big game hunting and overcollection by zoos and research institutions. A newer threat is hunting associated with the bushmeat trade, especially to feed logging crews. With respect to eastern gorillas, the International Union for Conservation of Nature (IUCN) has listed both the eastern lowland gorilla and the mountain gorilla as critically endangered subspecies. Together, eastern lowland gorillas and mountain gorillas number fewer than 5,000, with the smaller mountain gorilla population estimated at only 1,000 individuals. Mountain gorilla numbers continue to decline from habitat loss as a result of human activities: farming, grazing, logging, and, recently, habitat destruction by refugees. At the same time, ecotourism involving visits by travelers to see gorillas in their natural habitat has contributed to the conservation of the mountain gorilla. Although western gorillas are more numerous than their eastern counterparts, the IUCN still classifies both subspecies as critically endangered because their populations continue to decline from the effects of poaching and habitat loss. Cross-river gorillas are at the greatest risk, with adults numbering fewer than 250 individuals. Western lowland gorilla population estimates are substantially higher, however. They doubled in 2008 with the discovery of a previously unknown population numbering more than 100,000 and inhabiting the swamps of Lac Tel Community Reserve in the Republic of the Congo. Ecological studies, however, continue to document the ongoing population decline among western lowland gorillas, falling from an estimated 362,000 in 2013 to 316,000 by 2008.